This video is dedicated to the mamas of my 0 to 3-year-olds. If you're concerned that your young child may have a developmental delay or a learning attention issue, you may be curious about early intervention services. Early intervention can help infants and toddlers make big strides. And so this overview explains the first steps you can take to help your child. So what are early intervention services? Early intervention services are a range of targeted services to help young children who have developmental delays or specific health conditions. Different types of specialists work with these children. Providing services early can definitely help your children catch up and increase their chances for success in schools and life overall. Early intervention services are provided under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, through grants to each state from the federal government. Children who qualify may receive services free of charge or at a low cost. Every U.S. state and territory provides these services through its own comprehensive coordinated program. There are also services that support the families who care for kids receiving early intervention services. And so when it comes to who's eligible for early intervention services, they're for children from birth to age 3. So to be eligible, your child must have either a developmental delay, which means they're far behind kids their age, or a specific health condition that will probably lead to a delay. This could include genetic disorders, birth defects, and hearing loss, but typically not learning or attention issues like dyslexia and ADHD, because that's something that they could possibly grow into as they get older, or out of as they get older, excuse me. And so although all states provide some form of early intervention, they're at liberty to do so differently. And so states can define developmental delays in different ways and provide services for different health conditions. Each state has its own rules for which children are eligible. In a few states, your child might get services if they're at risk for a developmental delay because of factors like low birth weight, drug exposure, and other environmental issues. In other states, a doctor or a clinician can recommend early interventions. So if you have concerns about your baby or your toddler, you'll have to explore the rules in your own state. And that conversation can start by talking to your child's pediatrician. Doctors should know about early intervention services, but you could also find out through the state what type of early intervention services are available and ask for an evaluation for the state's early intervention program. And so possibly calling local officials and finding out what those are could help you find out ways that you could secure an evaluation for your toddler or your baby. And so these evaluations will help determine whether your child is eligible for services. And so if your state says that the child is eligible for early intervention services, your family will get an individualized family service plan, an IFSP. And a team from your state's early intervention program will work with you to develop the IFSP. And the plan defines goals and the types of services that will help you and your child. And so there are some other things you can do if your child doesn't qualify for services. And I'll talk about that briefly in another video. And so what kinds of early intervention services are available? So babies and toddlers may receive services at home or in the community to help with development in the following areas: physical skills like reaching, crawling, walking, drawing, building, cognitive skills like thinking, learning, solving problems, communication skills, talking, listening, understanding others, self-help or adaptive skills like eating and dressing, social and emotional skills, that include playing and interacting with others, and sensory processing skills like handling textures, taste, sound, smell. And so a child who qualifies for an early intervention program may receive one or more of the following services: screening and assessment, speech and language therapy. I'm familiar with y'all. Speech and language therapy. Did it again. Physical or occupational therapy, physical services, home visits, medical, nursing, or nutrition services, hearing, audiology, or vision services, social work services, transportation. And so a service coordinator from the early intervention program will help set up and schedule these services. And so how long do early intervention services last? Early intervention services usually last up to age 3, but that doesn't mean that you're suddenly out in the cold on your own when your child turns 3, because many states will extend early intervention services beyond your child's third birthday if needed. In addition, children who are older than 3 might be eligible for special education services under IDEA. And these services can pick up where early intervention services leave off. And so a few months before your child's 3rd birthday, if you've secured early intervention services for your child, it's important to start having the conversation with your early intervention team about what transition will look like. If it is determined that your child still needs services beyond the age of 3, it's important to make sure that that meeting happens. The service coordinator will set up the planning meeting, but if that hasn't happened, you make sure it happens. And this will help you find out how to prepare your child for what's next. And if they're eligible for preschool special education, someone from the local school district should be working with you too. All right. And so finally, what if your child is already 3 years old? If your child is already 3, it's not too late to get help. As with a younger child, the first step is getting the evaluation, and this is when we start getting into securing special education services in local school districts. And so the evaluation will determine if your child needs special education or related services. And if your child is eligible, you know the drill. What happens? School professionals will help you develop an IEP, an individualized education program for your preschooler. In addition to special education, to meet your child's need, this may also include related services similar to those provided to infants and toddlers. And so a lot is happening in the first few years. It's important, if you can, to set that foundation early. And if your child isn't where they need to be with development, early intervention can make a huge world of difference. And so that's all I have for you right now on early intervention programming. If you have additional questions, go on and hit me up. You can talk to Mama in the link at the top of the website page, or you can shoot me an email, mama314@gmail.com. All right.